Williams podcast, and I am Williams, welcoming you to this channel, especially on this episode, where we're supposed to talk about some stuff. A lot of stuff is taking place in Uganda, and especially to do with the creative and performing arts, concentrating on music as an art. Yeah, we have big stories in Uganda back home, and those are the stories we come to talk about, giving our opinions, giving a review, remarks and recommendations, among other things we're supposed to do in just a few minutes. We're supposed to be here. How are you people watching us? You might be a Ugandan watching and listening to me from across the globe, watching and listening to me from the Scandinavia, from Asia, from Gulf, from across Africa, from Canada, from United Kingdom, from Europe, from United States of America. I am Williams, and this is the podcast where we talk creative and performing arts, of course, with concentration to our own Ugandan or Uganda's fraternity. Of course, we have a number of stories that I feel I needed to put my contributions to, or a contribution to. One of them is an interesting one, that is where people are insinuating and suggesting that Rema Namakula no longer stays with Hamza. You remember those days when we used to have traditional media houses and news only had to pass through the proper channels, especially in mainstream radio stations and TV. These days, stories are broken online, and especially from the citizens themselves, and it is called citizenship journalism or citizen journalism. Social media now breaking a story. So it broke from the social media, and the people started saturating it. Rema takyaliyo, and of course no one of us is sure until when we saw a video. We weren't sure about whether she's still there or not, and especially being a celebrity and a music artist at her level, definitely her marital issues are subject to public scrutiny, debate, and talkability definitely will be around whatever stuff that comes out of her house. Kakati tubale tulia unatela ka video, of course, ngaba chirinze ne Hamza, which is a good thing. Definitely, we in Uganda, especially across Africa, people are so much prophets of doom, sadists, and bog tuagala ebyononese bisinga tusinga kuagala ebyononese. Rema babakoze kirungi. Not many people will come out to say that she has a good song, she has registered a long time together with Hamza, because when you calculate how long they have been together since their introduction ceremony or event, it is quite a long period of time worth celebration. But what has gone so much into the news regarding her marriage or union with Hamza is the insinuation and the rumor that she's tied her belongings to and left the house. So to me, I feel, I know in most cases when such stories come out, people be like, omukazi lwaki bamuyingirira privacy ye, lwaki bamuyingirira. I don't also believe in kuyingirira life ya muntu wano ku Williams podcast, but kasitobeera ng'oli ku level ya Rema Namakula, definitely. Olumu there are people kunyumiza mubutano. Actually, it is a story now. It becomes a story. Kakati nageze nenkwata ka clip ka Namakula nenkateeka ku status yange. Kati nze nga simanyi kyekategeeza, nakulabye nga ka clip alimu mukuzina mazina nze simanyi kaddi. Munnange nga sikateeka ku status. Namakula yanyigidde munnaye ne mugamba munesigenderedde muzafalu nzija mu bintu byenaga of all people, even you. Kati mukazi watto kitegeera nga point javuga wasobola mutegeera is that she's kind of overwhelmed by people, by rumors, because they are just allegations. No one has established facts about the marriage. But nkabwe nti amawulire gava mu mainstream negayingirira ddala ku level eyokuba nti kakati tutambula na citizenship journalism, and people are harnessing social media to also participate in communication and in information giving. So that is a story that is in domain public, and everyone is giving their opinion. And the Ugandans are good people at giving their opinions. Even someone who has never been in a union or a partnership or a relationship, a family, marriage, is strongly being like, yay, Hamza Oyo, Rema Oyo. And, you know, good thing, or fortunately and unfortunately, those people among your fans, you, the music artists, all people in the limelight. So no Risongeyo, that is it about Rema Namakula and Hamza. The update we have, the latest, is that they appeared in a clip together celebrating love. Actually, she joked and was like, ayanobye ngari amanyinti yanobye na ka video nakasembeza keri wa Hamza namuga wange ayanobye amanyinti yanobye why Hamza naye namudamu namugamba wange mbo wanobye banange nibasekamu, which is a good thing definitely according to me. Era Rema Namakula, we wish you well and we pray that you remain together as lovers, as mother and father to your children. Yes, Williams podcast with me, Williams, and we appreciate you people. This is a channel that is growing organically or gradually, but we shall reach where we want to be. Actually, we just put it in a place, we formed it to give our some episodes, especially for those people, the fans who have followed us from the days of radio. People followed us from the times of Sugi FM, Radio Sapiencia, our contribution to the music industry of Uganda, up to where we are now. So that is it. Another one is about Dr. Jose Chameleone's statement one time where he was performing somewhere and was like, guys, I'm better than them all. I'm better than whatever you might think is baddest. Actually, he mentioned one of the most trending songs. I said one of the most trending. You know, people with English being a foreign language, when you say one of the most trending, omuntu ajja kujja mu comment section aga sha ogamba otulimba lwe lusinga okutrending nga womanya olulimi lumujjemu. So Chameleone mentioned one of the most trending songs, that is Kapati by Sandra Nax and Alien Skin of the Fangon Forest. So it was like nti bagamba kapati na statement ya Chameleone nejerega oluyimbo olwo era n'agamba nti aba abantu n'abatuuza mu dust mu nfuufu. And definitely Chameleone's dropping all those lines or statements, he truly, according to my opinion, knew what would follow, and eventually, by all means, I'm sure what he expected or what he wanted is what he's getting now from the feedback and reverb, the repercussions from his statements. He was like, actually, he gave us information that before coming to where he was performing that night, had been to Kenya. So you guys who are watching Williams podcast with me, my opinion about Chameleone's, definitely let me just first go through into what is happening on social media. The Fangon Forest fans, of course, they are fans of Alien Skin. Ibura Kabadia, one of the bodyguards of Alien Skin, came out and promised not good things to Chameleone. Was like, we shall hit you, your brothers, and the late relatives you have, which went deeper. Tujja kukubenga be baganda bo bonna n'abafa tubagattemu. Era n'amunnyonnyola, of course, namugamba febulaba fevaliko, we are the generations Z or generation Z, depending on how you call your ZZ. Nagamba tujja bakuba, and definitely this is the generation. This generation is like that. Definitely, I remember those days when people used to fight with music. Ebigambo byabangako music, but dominance was about music. All the main course was always music. was they did their literature and their beefs, of course, verbally, but main course or the main substance or content in their beefs was music. These days, one tunga tujja kukuba, and indeed they promised Chameleons ebisinga cow. Of course, I've heard some clips, video clips, and people saying that Chameleone is the master of violence. That's what I've heard people say, that Chameleone is the master of violence, and they felt like Ibra Kabadia in no time will get what he wanted, as when he said Chameleone, or when he promised Chameleone beatings, kicks, and the taxi maxados. Of course, my opinion is Chameleone definitely belongs to a different generation. And to me, actually, umanyi bali tenkola aba talk and talk tukolera abantu. Bwekiraba kya kukolera abantu, there are stories I wouldn't come to talk about, but definitely it is in public domain. I don't think it was, there were good statements from Chameleone because they really belong to different generations. But again, you know, when it comes to media space, media struggle, show business, people will do all what it takes to be relevant, to trigger talkability. And now here are we talking about Chameleone, and probably remember he released a new song, a South Bossa Nova Rumba song, and I've had comments, and in my comment section people have always come and tagged me, William, talk about this song, and remember Baby Cool is having Breaking the Chains, is still going on with the media tour. Alien Skin is having a double hit run, Kapande wasomye kafu nebirala, and here comes Chameleone. With show business games, you would say it is fine, but statements towards a Sandra Nax were uncalled for. That is my opinion. I think Omwala Chameleone we are dropping it, but again, kasito yingira mu palaso bwayimba nti bino byabanene. Of course, once you're a music artist, once you start practicing that art, a form of art that is music, already established. There are no chances of rising artist, upcoming artist, especially when you collaborate with big artists like Alien Skin. Definitely you're subject to being in the same boxes of battles or beefs or whatever you, whichever way you want to put it. Nti Alien Skin bwaba ina abalwanagana naye mu ngeri ya show business so kuno okukulwana okukufiira ojja kwekanga nti Sandra Nax olwokuba nti olumu ku nnyimba ezisinga okutrendinga balulina na Alien Skin ojja kwekanga ayingiddewo, so awo osobola okugambya nti why Sandra Nax. Of course, talkability about Sandra Nax, logarithms zijja kuleeta nnyo Sandra Nax. It is a blessing in disguise if she's wise enough, or the team and the Fangon can use this blessing in disguise to her advantage, okuba nti kakati bamupushinga nnyo abantu babuuze nti ani gwe badde ayogerako oluyimba kapati Alien Skin yaluyimba nani, okitegeera. Away from that, nkutegeezeza first of all that Chameleone being among those artists, generational artists who have played show business for a very long time and also has participated in the art violence definitely. Era nga abadde mumizanyo ojja kulowooza nti oba oli awo kyabadde kituufu, kyabadde kiseera kikyamu kituufu okujja na dropping those lines, of course, for attention, and indeed he got our attention. Remember, Chameleone has had several events where people have talked about him. Of course, he has enjoyed the talkability over time, has enjoyed the limelight, but again, the higher you go, the more sweeter it becomes as a celebrity to always be talked about. You know, artists jako magulwa mu muzannyo abayagala aberewo ogutalina musango ne munsi yonna across the globe, you'll find that celebrities always fight for that space in whichever way they fight for it. So Chameleone nakola bwatyo. Another thing which I think and I believe that is a challenging factor for Jose Dr. Chameleone, They used to play their games those days as Big Three, which is now history. I repeat that the Big Three thing is now history. And you'll find that as Bobby Wine continues to get springed to levels of politics, of course he remains a music artist, but he cannot compete with Chameleone anymore. He will be the other side of politics, and once in a while he will drop just a one, a two of I'm not your enemy, Nalumansi, ezo zibeera one off. So I'm relying on also Bebe Cool now, who is a friend, a brother, tightly with Jose Chameleone, to watch us all about beef yamanyo, and Bebe Cool is kind of in isolation and operating on an island, and now he's so much onto he's breaking the chains and also trying as much as possible to remain a big brother and overseer of the industry, presiding officer on the industry. Bebe Cool Chameleone nasigala in the middle. And they remember Chameleone has had sad stories. I will call them sad stories. At some point, yali mulwadde against America, had some stories about himself, no bulwadde, then and his awedde, kitanyikira bwe yakomawo yayitira Kenya, n'agenda kola a good tour, which never fetched good talkability, media coverage and stuff. Naye nga byali birungi nnyo. Nebitafuna attention inungi nnyo. Chameleone came back. You remember there was a listeners party of breaking the chains of Bebe Cool. Still, there was not much attention for Chameleone, Doctor, and later on, he had other issues to do with the family. I know I hate talking about people's families, but again, once you're in public domain and you're a celebrity, a newsmaker, an opinion leader, definitely you're subject to such. Daniela is always on and off. Every now and then bring back herself into Chameleone's song. So Chameleone has not had good public, good news coverage of recent. It is either people talking about Chameleone to do with the family and the challenges he's having with the family, to Sikomogua here and there with Daniela demanding for property and the divorce over. So this time Chameleone is here and it's like Mbafukamiza, and indeed probably he has a confidence that Mbafukamiza, but the debate is, does he still have the ability to Fukamiza this generation? I firmly believe that they belong totally to a different generation, and it is not wise, a good decision for the two to beef. It won't work out, definitely. Techijja tunyumira okujja nga byakulwana bwe bana bagenda balwana ebyebikonde bekuba omugere. Probably when it comes to violence they might be somewhere in balance, but when it comes to fighting regarding their repertoire or creations, definitely doesn't balance up. It doesn't. Chameleone belongs to a different league, just like Alien Skin belongs to a different league, and Chameleone produces different repertoire or content from what Alien Skin produces. Definitely also Alien Skin, also his approach and the time when he came and became a star is totally different from when Chameleone came. Their fans belong to different age groups. But again, when it comes to violence, social media, offensive communication, cyber harassment, physical and street fights or violence, obasobola kubanga of course ekikonde bwe bakikugunda tekigamba nti omusajja gw'okubyenga wa myaka 5 kyo kirulwa obutuuze bwe bakuba akakumbi ku mutwe, of course sibuwagira because abaana bye batera okwagala ebyo and indeed beekubireyo mu byalo. So ndowooza nti fight yaabwe eyinza kubeera ku ebyo gye siyinza kuwagira nnyo definitely. Another thing, as a recommendation from me on this podcast, Williams podcast, is that Chameleone definitely needs to keep propelling, should look for stuff that can keep propelling him away from this generation Z. How? The more you be in your own space, you cannot have unnecessary wrangles or bickery. You're in your space. I mean, Because there are artists like, you cannot find Juliana Kanyomozi, because Juliana Kanyomozi belongs to the same league like Jose Camilo, but you cannot find Juliana Kanyomozi having any discussion of, we cannot have her in a discussion and a conversation or debate about her battle with Spice Diana, with the Carol Nantongo, with the Nina Rose, with the Lady Jasmine, because for herself, makes sure she's in a different space. Actually, up to now, even the likes of Rema Namakula, who have worked hard and have really stamped and have registered success stories, have not reached a level where you can say that Rema Namakula versus Juliana Kanyomozi. So it depends on how you carry yourself. Chameleone, and considering the magnitude and the level at which he is in terms of producing good music and the time he has spent, his contribution, is not, I don't feel is in order to have statements, for us to have statements of Chameleone versus Alien Skin. It's kind of awkward, but since it is Chameleone who said that Abafukamiza definitely they will do a reverb, a feedback, they will definitely give him a feedback. And the feedback ayo kaji basobola muwa naye sobola muluma kwe mukakanya amanya oli mukadde abamu bamugisedde amanya Namayanja, amanya Josephine Namayanja, amanya twalira obusikati bagala mudimininga, because definitely abaana abamu bagambye n'okugamba nawulidde Ibura Kabadia nga agamba ffe tetukumanyi, ne Coach Clement namulabye nga ffe tetukumanyi, ebiyimba byo tetubimanyi, abakuwagira bakadde, and of course abajooga ffe Clement Kabadia, why otugamba ffe? But again, like I said, if it is violence, street fight, cyber harassment and offensive communication, they can match up. When it comes to repertoire and the generations, in terms of legacy, legendary matters, and being an idol, icon, a music star, definitely that battle cannot work. But when kwekuba machupa tubagaliza ebirungi ebiddako awo. Dr. Jose Chameleone, in my opinion, is that gezaako okubeera eri mu bire, beerera ddala eyo mu bire gye tasobola nakukulengerera for aba generation Z. You're watching Williams podcast, and we also have a TikTok account where we talk the same stuff regarding creative and performing arts. Another story is about Ugandans now picking interest in reading books. And the fundamental one, or the most popular currently, is a book by Iryn Namubiru, My Mother Knows. Everyone is giving commentary, submitting their opinions, and of course everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Everyone is like, my opinion is this. She shouldn't have put content on paper about her mother. Once your mother gives birth to you, she would have aborted you. But once, other people will be like, yeah, if your mother does stuff you don't like, if she tortures you, she mistreats you, yes, tell it to her face, spill the beans. They will bring even slangs, and I'm like, abantu bano bekitabu bakisomye. I understand there are people nga bakisomye. Olumwana akoze akantu akalungi is PCDN of CBS and BBS Telfina. She said she's on page 2 now. Ina hatu opinions ze. Nga alifaringa ne ku page ze yakasoma ko nyoja kwesa nga balabo naba akomye ku hard copy. Manya ku paper abajita ni cover. Hey, how? Because Namubiru abadenga achitubulira ko natugamba me and my mother have sad stories, and my mother abo chitabu ekyafu. Everyone is like, yeah, today I'm here to give an opinion. Also, I've seen channels where people are reading the book, giving an interpreted or a translated version of audio of the print, which is a reproduction right that you need from the author. I'm not sure whether people have got rights to reproduce Iryn Namubiru's print into audio reproduction, into a broadcast. With the copyright, atukenkera na kubanja obuwumbi bwatu omusabye ekintu ekyo. So, Iryn Namubiru, thank you very much for putting down, especially ink on paper, regarding what you have at heart. And it is a good thing, I believe now. We have had people writing books of recent, but not music artists. Kati ba music artists baba beyongedde, and especially betusemberedde nnyo kati ojja kuwulira buli muntu nkatandise okuleeta nange nyinayo page zange 2 bannange, nyina ekitabo kyange ku Bermuda Triangle, nyina ekitabo kyange ku Diamond Ensemble, nyina ekitabo kyange ku Diamond Production, nyina ekitabo kyange ku Jans Band, nyina ekitabo kyange ku Jekaki, nyina ekitabo kyange. Yes, bring them on. Bring them on. Let us read those books to pick what to take as good stuff for us to know what to do and what to pick as contribution to our life ahead of this universe. It is Williams with me, Williams. For now, we're saying goodbye on Williams Podcast.